Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Edi Gathegi about Season 3 of For All Mankind on Apple TV+. Welcome to the show, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Pete.
I feel like there's a lot going through your mind. You know, you're joining the show after 2 seasons that people just had so much intrigue about the characters and how it looked. You joined for Season 3. What is the mindset preparation of kind of joining an already established show?
Well, first thing, you understand you're walking onto other people into someone else's house.
Yep.
Right? And you don't know if that house is going to be a welcoming house or an unwelcoming house. Fortunately for me, this was a welcoming house. Mm-hmm. There was a welcoming committee. I got a couple phone calls from some of the cast, and they just made the transition into this For All Mankind family, which they call FAM, the FAM.
Yep, the FAM.
It was like the best case scenario, joining a show in its 3rd season.
Yep.
So yeah.
Anytime there's a show or a movie about space, Eddie, I'm in, right? I've been following NASA on Instagram for years because I just love how everything looks, right? It's eye candy, you know what I mean? So I was always a big fan of this show specifically. This show does an amazing job of, it's about space. It looks amazing. But the character arcs and the growth and the relationships and the decisions some characters make, I'm just curious if you kind of saw the balance of that for Season 3 when you're looking at the scripts, the balance of, it's about space, but it's about people. It's about humans. It's about all these interactions. What was that like for you?
It's funny. That's it's my wife's favorite show too, but it's her all-time favorite show, and it's her all-time favorite show for this reason. She's a big space fan.
Yeah.
But this show in particular really deals with space, but also the family dynamics of the people who work in the space, in the space program. So there's kitchen sink drama. There's high stakes action. And then there's the space exploration, which is the eye candy. You like space, but I would say you like expensive looking space.
Yeah, I'm probably looking at all these posts and I'm like, wow, this is great. And then people on the other side are like, yeah, they didn't cost, they weren't cheap either.
Yeah. So I think they do a really great job. That's one of the things that Matt and Ben, really like to do is keep the audience guessing. They don't know where the show is going to go at any particular moment. And that's really intriguing. But yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, you mentioned For All Mankind FAM, so you're part of the FAM. If you look at other things, you're part of the Apple TV Plus family, which it's just unbelievable. Some of the best shows out there are on Apple TV Plus. What's that like being part of Apple TV Plus right now, where it's an amazing time for a lot of the content from Apple TV Plus?
I mean, I feel like I got in at a good moment. I don't even know what this means, but I feel my gut tells me that I got in Apple TV system at the right time. Because, they got great shows, man, and they're coming up. With the Ted Lassos and the morning show, and then our show is Rolling Stones has some really nice things to say about this, and it just gets better and better, and it gets bigger and bigger, and it's just a fun ride. It's a good place to park your talents for a couple of years.
Absolutely. I find it interesting in the beginning of the interview you said about your mindset about joining an already established show, and I just want to kind of ask you another question to add to that, because I do find it interesting a little bit. There's going to be some nerves. It's going to feel overwhelming. I don't think there's anything you could do about it. You know what I mean? You're joining a show for Season 3, but does the excitement overcome the nerves, Eddie, if there are any nerves at all?
I didn't really have any. I mean, I guess the nerves came when they said, Eddie, they're ready for you on the first day.
Yeah, day one.
and I'm not even lying to you, man. I hadn't figured out how my character was going to be yet. So I was leaving the trailer going, okay, do I just make him British? Is that what I'm going to do? and then I show up to the set, and then I just did what I did, and that's what's in the show. But I wasn't nervous about any other aspect other than right before we started filming that day, that first day. And I would say this hasn't happened yet, but if I go to Comic-Con, that would maybe be another moment where I kind of understand the impact that this show has on the culture, at least the Comic-Con culture.
Yeah.
And that might make me a little bit nervous as well. But for the most part, it's just been excitement. It's just been a cool project with great artists and new friends. Just an all-around cool experience.
Edi Gathegi is a storyteller. That's what you do, basically. That is your profession. You're a storyteller. Is it safe to say that one of your favorite things about storytelling is being able to transform and dive into all these different worlds of For All Mankind, of The Harder They Fall, of Startup? Is that one of the best things about it?
Yeah, I couldn't. My dad has a law degree, and I thought I would follow in his footsteps. And it's like, well, lawyers are just actors anyway. But that's beside the point. I've always just been interested in many different professions, and I'm like, what's the profession that allows me to do all the professions? So that's the most exciting part about acting, is being able to dive into different people's skins and different world stories and professions, and it's just a tremendous amount of fun for me, just because I have life ADD.
As an actor, as a storyteller, specifically maybe for this one, for All Mankind, what's it like seeing like character arcs and growths and everything? And you're coming on for season 3. I'm sure you're kind of getting up to speed with a lot of what happened in season 1 and 2. What's that like, actually, from a storyteller perspective, seeing those arcs, seeing those developments specifically? I'm curious about that.
Oh God, I don't know how to answer that, because I'm an actor on the show. I'm not a producer.
Yeah.
So
just from the acting perspective, though, because you still have to see a lot of, like, you see it, right? Like, you see even some of your character, certain things happen episode to episode. You know what I mean? One episode, there's like growth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the one thing that these creators do that is intriguing. And I think I just mentioned this, is that the characters are so deeply complex that any given choice that a character might make will polarize their audience.
Yeah.
One side will say, we totally agree with that choice. The other side will say, we're disgusted with this character. We want that character to be killed off. That is the sweet spot that I think that they go for. Case in point, Shantel's character in season 2 with the underage gentleman.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Very quickly, for a wrap up, when they get a chance to watch For All Mankind on Apple TV Plus, season 3 on their way now, what are you hoping to get out of it, Edi, specifically? Like, takeaway-wise. What do you hope to get out of it, takeaway-wise, when they get to watch the show?
Just a continuation of the conversation.
Yeah.
And I think that that's just what this show does. It's a conversation that continues, and we're dealing with big subject matters. There's family stories, there's tech exploration, and we're just continuing to expand what that conversation is, what it looks like. And I think the potential for crazy innovation is still happening for us in our world. And I'm excited to see the ways in which they incorporate that onto the show. Because that's the kind of eye candy that you and I are both attracted to.
Oh, absolutely. It's the eye candy. I'm going to go after this, right after this interview, I'm going to go back on Instagram and just watch all this space stuff. That's what I'm going to probably do. Edi, thank you so much for your time. It was so great chatting with you about season 3 of For All Mankind on Apple TV Plus. I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
Pleasure was mine. Nice to meet you, brother.
Awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.